Speaker, farmers across the Adelaide Plains and Mid-North recently received much-needed hay donated by farming communities from other states as part of a 100-truck convoy as a result of financial support provided by the Malinauskas Labor government. The delivery commenced over the Australia Day long weekend, assisting our primary producers through some of the driest conditions on record. With hay prices continue to soar and good quality fodder becoming harder to find, some of the country's top quality hay has been delivered to farmers like Mr Paul Durin of Dutton. Mr Durin said that while the hay received would only feed his 6,500 breeding ewes for 1 week, knowing that there were people across the country who care about him and his neighbours makes a big difference to our ability to survive through this drought. Mr Durin said that the rural community has been devastated by this drought, the third worst on record, with crop return not even covering production costs. He goes on to say, it goes a little bit against the grain to receive this hay, as normally we are supporting other farmers across the country. He then says, while the drought is having a devastating effect on farmers' finances, I am really concerned about the health and well-being, and in particular their mental health, which is, Mr Acting Speaker, an issue which I'll come back to in a moment. In Mr Durin's view, we need to do more to support our farmers' mental health. The hay run was supported by the charitable organisation Aussie Hay Runners. The delivery has been made possible in part by the state government's $18 million drought support package, which the member from MacKillop referred to a little earlier. And some of the concerns the member from MacKillop has raised has also been raised with me by farmers in the region. The Prime Industries Minister, Claire Scriven, said that the state government really appreciated these organisations helping South Australian farmers and are pleased to be able to support the delivery of much-needed fodder to drought-affected farming communities across the state. She goes on to say, these truckloads of hay will provide some immediate relief, and we encourage farmers to explore the assistance available in the drought support package to help upgrade infrastructure and strengthen the ability to tackle the challenges of drought. Mr Deputy Speaker, we're having tough times at the moment, but it's interesting to note that our strong sense of community shines through, and this hay run, for example, is about Australians looking after each other. And it was no accident, Mr Acting Speaker, that on Australia Day weekend, farmers from other parts of Australia are working with other charity groups like Hay Runners to support farmers in our state, doing it tough at the moment. Mr Acting Speaker, when our farmers are hurting, so are people in our small townships and vice versa. It is important to understand it's not just the farmers on the land impacted by the drought, but a whole range of communities. And it's great to see our farmers in the Adelaide Plains and Mid-North being supported by the broader community. Also had an opportunity to meet Linda Widdop, founder of Aussie Hay Runners, and she said that she was very proud to be working alongside the South Australian government and wished to acknowledge it and thank everybody who has been involved in making the run happen. And believe me, there's a lot of people involved, according to her. She goes on to say, as always, our reputation is of utmost importance to us, and every single bale is top quality oat and wheaten hay with the highest nutritional value possible for stock. Mr Acting Speaker, I mentioned a little earlier about the mental health, and one of the areas I like to particularly focus on is the mental health of men and young men. And this is what I'm hearing from the farmers, is that yes, there are difficulties on farms from the drought, whole range of physical difficulties, but it's actually the concerns they have about people's men's ability and young men's ability to actually deal with these pressures. Often they don't communicate in terms of the pressure they're under, and often we actually only hear about what pressure they're under and also their mental health when it's often too late. It is often too late. So, sorry? Yeah. And Mr Acting Speaker, it is important that one, as a government, but also secondly, as a community, we make sure that we have necessary mental health resources and supports in these communities to make sure that we don't add to this tragedy of the drought by having the tragedy of men taking their own lives. So it's one area which I know farmers are concerned about. There is some good work being done by a number of groups like Gavin Schuster's group in Freeling, and then a number of men's sheds throughout the communities, which all often, if you like, opportunities for men to discuss and to talk about the issues and hopefully help them with their mental resilience.